Thank you. So, Vincenzo, what would you say the main message of the book is?
Well, it contains a number of messages. Well, I'm thinking of a number and a few. Well, firstly, the book should be recognised as being a recognition of all those, like my mother, who had to deal with so much and contend with so many difficulties and challenges when moving abroad or to a country completely different from their own. And it's not only my mother, but a whole lot of others who didn't fare all that well living in new countries. They just seem to be statistics. But if one looks into their particular stories, one would find a lot of conflict, a lot of heartache, a lot of dramas, and turmoil, and hence one part of the book's message is that to recognise those who have gone before me. And another aspect to the book is that, going by the title, keeping in touch. For it is important because with the idea that if one doesn't know where they came from, then one is not going to have any idea of how they got to be, who they are or where they are. And if that was so, if they don't know who they are or where they actually are at any particular moment, then they're not going to have any idea of where they're going, make any clear decisions about their future. And if so, then one is virtually giving their powers away to someone else and for others to make decisions for them. Hence, in reviewing the memoirs, and that's one of the messages I got quite clearly, and which has helped me to certainly know and understand those influences that have been brought to bear on me and made me the individual that I was and who I had become. Both bad and good. And from that understanding has allowed me to reflect on myself as to the way I think, my behaviours, my views, my attitudes to others, and as well as to myself. And one of the biggest things was in going through all the past that I've learnt finally that I don't need to please anyone else in order to get permission to do this or do that. I know, and I've taken up the mantle, that I can now fully love myself unconditionally. And it's from there where I can then proceed to make decisions about my future and who I am and who I wanting to be. Yes. So.
Perhaps you could say something like, I hope by reading my story that other people feel I could do the same.
Yes, especially, and this is a fairly complex issue because what we're experiencing in the world today is an upheaval. It's the past meeting the present and colliding with the future. And by reading my book, one can come up with the notion that we are now in a position where the individual needs to make very clear choices about which direction they want to go. They already probably are experiencing exceptional turmoil because of the demands put on them by friends, family, governments, and other organisations and so forth on how they're supposed to act and what they're supposed to believe and what they should do and what they shouldn't do. And this can only lead them to experiencing more misery in the future. Hence why I say that humanity and the individual has reached a fork in the road.
No, you're right.
Sorry, I was
Yeah.
the ring light's just on the glasses, so I'm just moving this over, but we're all good if you stay there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So having reached a fork in the road, and individuals, in order to know themselves and what kind of a future they want, and for humanity as a whole, then they need to make clear choices about who is in control of their lives.
So what do you hope people get out of buying your book?
Well, what I would hope that they get out of it is that because I've gone back such a long way, over 60 years, and history would tell anyone that it's always continually changing and evolving. And if one doesn't know their history, then, as the old quote says, that one is all, and if one doesn't learn from history, then one is always repeating the mistakes from history, which is basically what is happening now. So it's so they would, by reading the book, they would be able to get that full insight, especially in relation to one individual's story. But it's not only my story, it's also the reader's story and the story about the world and humanity, and because everything is interconnected and connected. I just don't stand out separately like a sore thumb. My experiences have been directly influenced by those circumstances around me, society, the world, the economy, the family, and a whole range of things which all come together to have an impact on the individual. And so this is a very important time in history for individuals to excuse me, to really look at themselves deeply, not at a superficial level, which is all too often the case when when relationships happen between individuals, and from there on, getting that insight into oneself, and from there on being able to make clearer decisions about their future and what they want, to have a greater and deeper connection with not only the people around them, but it's also a matter of getting back to really the basics, the connection with the land and Mother Nature, and because Mother Nature is teaching humanity one big lesson at the moment. It's as if she's collecting all the dirty linen left around the place and chucking it into this big washing machine and putting it through one huge cycle, and so it can all come out fresh and start again.
So how can people actually get hold of the book?
Well, they can go through the Amazon site. Excuse me.
Maybe start that again. So if you'd like to
Yeah,
find
I
out.
need to get a drink.
Okay. Well, you
Yeah.
go grab a drink.
I was trying to make a